Hello. Welcome to Drinks with Ron. I'm Ron on New Year's Day. I feel pretty good still, so that's good. At the Hillsboro Cream Ale out of Wisconsin here. It was great last night, and it's just as great for breakfast. Yeah, you may have noticed with this high definition camera that the new tap is in. The one I've been talking about previously. I told you, sticks down a little bit lower. We got a couple inches, 2.5, maybe 3. You know how guys like to estimate, but I digress. Yeah, it's nice, solid pull forward. Here's the piece I was telling you about. Little cannon nozzle. It's got, you can't see it because I'm not going to do a good job, but there is 5 little holes drilled in there, and it really forces your nitro brew right through there. The first nitro brew that's going on this bad boy is actually going to be cold brew coffee. 2.5 gallons, kegged up, ready to roll. Just waiting for my nitrogen regulator to get here. That's another story. I don't like to spend a lot of money, especially not all at once. I can justify small purchases here and there. So generally when I do something, it's a kind of a longer process. I'm not gonna just drop $2,000 and renovate the backyard. I got a shovel and a tiller, and I went to work. And I dropped $100 here, $100 there, railroad ties, fence posts, the whole ordeal. But that's similar to what I do, and brewing is one of those things where fortunately you can do it that way. That's why I recommend, if it's something that you like at all, I totally recommend doing it, because your ground fee to like start isn't much. You can get into the brewing game, you know, $100, a big boiler, you get a bucket, bent tube for bubbling water. You don't need a whole lot of stuff. Derek is telling me, friend of the show, Derek, he's a Reddit guy, so he was telling me about being on Reddit, and somebody had asked the question, what's the hobby that you can get into for the least amount but can spend the most amount on? And he said brewing was one of the big ones that kept coming up, and it's so true. This tap wall here, I don't know if you had to go put it all in. Well, let's total it up. I honestly don't know what I've spent on it, because I've done it over the course of like 2.5 years. So it's, I bought a cooler. I got it used online. It's a freezer, actually. Little tiny chest freezer. I spent $50 on that. Drove down to Iowa, picked that up, brought her back home. There's a temperature regulator, but I already had that. You're probably not gonna already have that. So I think they were somewhere in the range of $15 to $20 on Amazon. We'll call it 20. So it was $70. And let's see. The collar, I had to build a collar around it out of wood. I had scrap wood, so that didn't cost me anything. But for you, yeah, you might have to go buy a couple of 2x4s and some screws. So I'm still at $70. Drill bits of varying sizes, I already had all that. So I popped the holes through my collar to run my lines. I'm still at 70. The lines themselves. Now, I can't say for sure because I purchased them in like 4 separate transactions. 2 online, no, 3rd one online, and 1 I went to the beer store in Madison. So let's say generously I've got $40 tied up in that. I'm at $110. Clamps. I bought a bunch of clamps. We'll just call that $115. Now we're gonna start getting into the bigger ticket items. The tank for the CO2. I just got a little guy. It's like, I don't even know, 25-pound tank or something. I think that was like 75, so we'll call that 190. Regulator, I think I paid somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 for that. We'll call it 240. Most of the hoses and fittings and shit all came with that, so we're still good there. Regulator. Oh, I finally bought one to split my CO2 lines. There's a little box back there that you plug into, and then there's two little spigots, so I can actually pressurize one tank to like 30 pounds to carbonate, and then for the other line for serving, I just take the knob and I just crank it about that much, and that's just enough to feed it. It's perfect. I can do the job two at once. I don't know what that was, $25. So $265 will stay there. Lines coming out. I just bought big ones. I cut them up. I bought big long lines and cut them into pieces for what I needed. I didn't need to go ape shit. So, okay, lines into there. Oh, well now you gotta have your kegs, right? Well, there's fittings for that. I bought a shitload of those. I actually had a few. I bought a mystery bucket one day at the brewing store in Madison. There was just like a bucket of shit. And it was like, some of this is free. This is like, just give it all to me. There was pieces for kegging. I'm like, I don't need any of this bullshit. This was like 7 years ago. I wasn't kegging, wasn't thinking about it. But I had a bunch of the fittings in there. So I got to know what I was looking at, and it was very handy. So, let's go overboard and say another 20. So what am I at? 285, something like, no, I don't know. I lost track. But I was doing good there for a while. Let's just call it 285 and give me the benefit of the doubt. Kegs. Now you gotta have your corny kegs. I got most of mine used, because I don't care. It's cheaper. What, you want to pay an extra $40 for the privilege of being able to say you were the first one to dump beer in it? Good for you. I'll save that $40 and use it to make beer. So, I got 2 corny kegs back there. I bet I dropped 110 on those total, not a piece. Let's just call that 400. I had to order a small 2.5, so I had to get that new. Nobody wants to give them up, and those bastards are pricey. So that was like 90, so we'll call it 490. But now we got tank, we got hoses, we got the splitter, we got the fittings, kegs are pressured. Now we gotta get to the fun part. So I bought these shanks one at a time too, and I honestly don't know what I paid for them. $4.90. I think I got between the shank and this, I don't know, probably another 90. It's $5.80. Got these guys in an auction from the from a thrift store. So yeah, I think all told, 3 lines. Oh, and I got a tank of nitrogen from a guy on Facebook that I think I paid $25. So I don't know. Long story short, I've got a keg, 3 lines, nitrogen capabilities, CO2 is on, 3 different size or 3 tanks, 2 different sizes. I could probably get another 2.5, 3 gallon in there. So I've got capability to do some things. Oh, and I also have all the fittings to, here's my plan. I want to have an Oktoberfest party when I get my backyard finished and this fucking plague is gone. So I'd like to brew a tank of Oktoberfest, but right now what I'm designing in my mind is I want to bring a mobile little keg tap insulation dealie. It needs a better name than that. Patent pending. My vision here is I was actually just going to get a little a garbage can with wheels, and then I'm going to put some plastic in the middle, probably spray foam insulate the whole thing, just to work as a little mobile cooler, leaving enough room to get a keg in there and a bunch of ice. And then I've got a little spigot on a line that I'm going to feed through the front, and CO2 to go out the back to a tank. and then I want to wheel it right out into the backyard, and then we have Oktoberfest on tap for the Oktoberfest party. That is my current vision. Beer, teams randomly drawn, different events, bean bags, all low impact, mind you. But yeah, bonus points for beers. I'm gonna hijack some things from an event a buddy of mine does. But that's my big vision. We're gonna get the backyard laid out. I've got some privacy screen, 6-foot black privacy screen for Oktoberfest, and yeah, I just have to figure out now how to mount the CO2 tank on the back of this cart so I can pull it all in one deal. Now I'm starting to think maybe I should modify a old pull cart for a golf bag, but I just kind of like my vision of the garbage can, the one pull deal. I may just have to bite the bullet and say the tank's got to sit separately. But if I can come up with an elegant side mount, so I can just tip elegant side mount, that's what's happening here. Okay, it's been decided. Yeah, the little black, probably 30-gallon garbage can, and I'm going to fit that bastard to just roll it out in the yard and do beers. It's going to be great, assuming the plague ever goes away. So to wrap her all back together, basically what I'm saying is I've got all these pieces to do all these things. The whole tap rig probably cost me $700. But over the course of 2.5 years, you know, what are you talking about? $300 a year? Spread that over how many months? I paid nothing for this. Paid shit for this motherfucker. Of course, that was the long, laborious way to do it. If you wanted to just go buy all the things, do it all in one shot, you would probably pay roughly the same, actually. Yeah, honestly, buy them in bulk. Go do it. You probably get all new equipment. Like I got this one used because I like the look of the old bar brass. Takes me back, especially these high life tap handles. We're gonna have to look at changing that out now that it's a little crowded in there, but still room to get a pitcher under. That was the main thing. So I can't wait. I've got a coffee cream stout going back there, and it's not even going to be the first thing on Nitro. So this is going to be great. It's gonna 2021 feels better already. I'm looking forward to all the shit that's about to be happening, specifically the beer. And with that, I'm out of beer, so I should go get another cream ale because I don't fucking work. And it's Friday. I ain't got to go into my job, and I ain't got shit to do, etc., etc. So for Drinks with Ron, I'm Ron, signing off.